Hello everyone, myself Dax Patel, and today we're gonna solve question number 217. It's basically contain duplicate question. Yesterday we solved a question with move zeros, where we are removing zeros to starting index to the last of the our array. Okay, in that question we learned multiple new things. Okay, how we gonna apply and swapping and replacing numbers within the array without taking any new entire array, and afterward we learned inbuilt functions methods. Okay, I'll given you to solve that part. Okay, but if you can't solve, you can check out that code in repo. Okay, and if you does not watch yesterday's video, you can check out link in a button. And this is the DSA series where you can learn DSA from absolute beginner to the advanced level. Okay, and if you're not started, go to day one video. Okay, from starting of the playlist. So first I'll explain the question. Afterward we see example. Then we move to the approaches part, and later on we code about our approaches. And lastly we can discuss about the time and space complexity. So firstly I'll explain you a question. Quick explanation. Given an integer array nums, okay, you are given an integer array of nums, return true, you have to return true or false if any value appears at least twice. If the repetition is there, you have to return true in the array and return false if there okay. So if repetition is there in your array, you have to return true. If not, you have to return false. Okay. So it's basically simple question. You just have to find that any number is repeating or not. Okay. And if it is repeating, you can return true. And each and every element is distinct element, so you can return false and move to the next part. Okay. So this is the simple question. But for this question, multiple approaches is possible, and the lesser and higher time and space complexity is also possible. So first we'll see example for your better clarity, then we'll discuss about that. So here are example one. Input nums equal to 1231. One is repeating, so output should be true. Okay, does not have to return twice time by numbering or like that. Nothing. You just have to return true or either false. Okay. Example two. Each and every are unique, so you can return false. Here big number 11133432242. Okay, so you have to return true. Okay, there are given some conditions. The length of the nums our array is between 1 to 10 to the power 5. Okay, which is increased as compared to our previous questions. In previous questions the length of the nums array is 1 to 10 to the power 4. Now it's 10 to the power 5. It increased with 9,000. Okay, so now it will here one more condition is given. The nums of I value is between minus 10 to the power 9 to plus 10 to the power 9. Okay, the range of numbers which are inside the array is between minus 10 to the power 9 to plus 10 to the power 9. Okay, so I hope you were clear about the question and example. Yeah. So I am trying to say that is this is just based on boolean. You just have to return true or false. Okay, so it's likely to understandable. You have to try by the your approaches first. Okay, and if you can't solve by your approaches, then you can watch further video and understand approaches and try to code yourself. And if you unable to do that, you can come and watch entire video to understand each and everything. So now we'll move to the okay. So for this question, we have two approaches. First, I'm thinking to use brute force method, nested for loop, one for loop inside another for loop, where first for loop iterating from each and every indexes, and we check like each and every element by the comparing to each and every other element. Okay, so we'll use brute force method for this question. Okay, so we just have to return true or false. So this method is reliable for us. Okay, one more approach I have in my mind. Okay, so because we are not moving now is beginner, so the we have to try to do questionnaire multiple approach. So second approach we're gonna do is it's basically optimized approach. We use scene array. Okay, so scene array helps you to decrease time complexity, and also it will efficient to more comparisons. Okay, it will basically optimize solution. You can see that. So where scene array will used in multiple times. I taught you how you can use scene array. So like that we can use scene array, and take comparison cases. If there is not, okay, so there is nothing repeating, we will return false. If it's repeating, we'll directly move that. Okay, so this is like our duplicate contains array, we can return true. So we'll start with the first approach, our brute force method. So here I am starting with our first for loop, I is equal to 0 to I is less than nums. Okay, dot length I plus plus. Okay, it's common, for each and everything. Loop starting is same. But now for second loop, it will change. We does not have to count before coming I. It's already count. Okay, if you here wrote one for loop with 1 2 3 element in a array, okay, another first you move one, so one will check with one, so it will give you that yes it is repeating, so you does not have to check that element particular index with that particular index. If your first loop starting from first index, so second would start from second index. Okay, not first. If first loop starting from fifth index, second loop starting from the sixth index, to avoid unnecessary like our iteration. Okay, so our loop starting from the plus one index of the current I. Now j is less than num dot length. We have to move to the end. Okay, so here now our simple if condition, if nums of I equal to nums of j, if these both are equal, return true. Okay, now our true condition is there, but one more condition we forgot is false condition, because we have to like in some cases they given you that there is nothing repeating, all in sequences 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, if this is your so for that condition you have to return false. If above this loop breaks, it means that there is array with the conditions of iterating each and every number unique. So use return false. Now I'll submit for test cases. Okay, given three test cases are checking. So you can see that our all three test cases are like passed. So this is our basic lead code test cases. Now I'll submit for further lead code test cases. So here in this approach, we are just iterating from the both of the like our arrays values. Okay, so that's why this is okay. Here they giving you one error. Time limit exceeds. Okay, I got it. It will basically showing that our code taken much more time than the reference. Okay, so here what we are gonna do is we take one smart condition to like look like lead code, looks like that each and everything is perfect. Okay, so I am taking one case. If their last conditions, okay, last 6 7 conditions are based on that each and every element is in a sequence. Okay, they have 1000 2000 or more than that, like numbers are there, so they use numbers in a series 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 so on. Okay, I am creating one more for loop to check that part. Okay, if the sequence is in order, they'll return true. Okay, sorry, they'll return false. There is no one repeating. Okay, it will basically eliminate half of the our cases, which is we does not want to check for that for loop. Okay, okay, so we'll start with the first thing. Whatever we want is one variable to store, like is quickly increasing. Okay, I am taking it. We'll assume that our current value is strictly increasing. Okay, now one more for loop. This is not nested, so don't worry about that. Okay, let I is equal to 0. I is less than nums dot length. I here I am taking one if condition. If nums of I is greater than nums of I minus 1 is can, C, equal to false. and break. Okay, now we have to if is strictly okay. If it's strictly increasing, then afterward return false. Let me submit this to know that this is correct or not. Maybe anywhere some missing. Okay, it will showing us wrong answer. Okay, let us check. I am thinking that we are making some mistake. Okay, here our condition is like you can check out this. We have false. Our we like what I am trying to say is our strictly increasing will checking if that this less than equal or equal to okay our current value okay second or third value is less than or equal to our current value okay so we taking that is strictly increasing this value okay if your third index value is 4 and fifth index value is 2 okay so we'll checking that value is less than or equal to it means it will does not strictly increasing and will return false okay. Now I'll have to submit and we'll check out that this is correct or not. Again here it will showing us time limit exceeds. Okay, okay. I am thinking that there is no problem. Looks like here. Okay, we'll check out. Wait one second. We'll fix each and everything syntax. Okay, it's, each thing looks fine. Okay, we are using that is strictly increasing. We'll convert it to files. Here we're checking it. If it's true, we return files. Okay, you can check out that our all 77 test cases are passed. Okay, our runtime is 2929 ms, which is very higher. Okay, but for in second approach, it will very lesser. Okay, I hope you got clear about this approach. So this is our first approach where we moving with the like you can say that some tricks to pass all lead code test cases. So now we'll move to the second approach based on our scene array. Okay, so firstly we use let scene equal to an object. Okay, after that for let I equal to 0, I is less than num dot length I plus plus. Okay, if scene of nums of I, if scenes of nums of I, so use return true, and if not scene nums of I equal to true, and at the end we use return else. Okay, we'll submit this. So here we are taking one object scene object. Okay, it will showing it here. We'll take an is we have to take it. So we're taking one scene object which is checking for the each and everything will be inside our nums array. We'll push to that part. Okay, if the our given current nums of I value is mentioned in scene object, so we'll directly say that return is true. Okay, the array contains repeating duplicate value and it will return true. And after that, we will checking that since nums of I is equal to true. Okay, and at the end we use return false. If there is nothing is possible, we'll use return false. Okay. So now we'll submit for this approach to check further lead code test cases. Okay, you can see that this is accepted. So this is our two approaches for question. First is basically based on brute force approach. Okay, that's why like you can see today's why our brute force method is too much like exit times complexity. So that's why we have to use as much as possible like optimize approach. Okay, and this approach is based on our like scene object. So where we checking for that currently is in our object or not. Okay, but here we used spaces. Okay, let me tell about time and space complexity for this code. Okay, so for our first approach brute force method we does not taking in a single variable. In for that approach our time complexity is order of n square. Okay, we using nested loops, one outer loop inside one outer loop, both is moving to the our end of the array. So our time complexity becomes order of n square. Our space complexity is order of 1 for that approach. Okay, first approach space complexity is order of 1 and time complexity is order of n square. And for our second approach, currently we have written approaches. For this approach, our space complexity is order of n. We using one new object is same as our current. Okay, current given array. So space complexity is order of n. And here we using only one for loop from zero index to the last of the our given arrays. So the time complexity becomes order of n. So for this approach, both is balanced. Time complexity is order of n, space complexity is order of n. Okay, and this is balanced. Okay, for first approach, time complexity is order of n square and space complexity is zero, like order of one. It I mean, so it's basically unbalanced. So you have to write code balance. Okay, and as much as your code is looks like a very lesser time complexity, so it will find if you use some more spaces. Okay, like up to the order of n or n log n. Okay, that's will find your code does not have to like use order of n square or order of n cube space complexity. Okay, in case of you are optimizing well optimizing it and lesser time complexity up to the order of n log n or order of 1, so it will find, but as much as possible to use both are reduced. Okay, so now I'll open the tomorrow's question. Okay, so if you find any doubt about today's question, you can ask me. Okay, so tomorrow we're gonna solve question number 217. Okay, sorry, my mistake. 217 is the today's question. Tomorrow we're gonna solve question number like 167. I think it's this. Okay, here. Okay, so tomorrow we're gonna solve this question to some double I. Okay, input array is sorted. Okay, this question. Okay, now we move to the medium level of the questions of Leetcode. Given a one indexed array of integer of nums. Okay, you're given a one indexed array, not zero indexed array. Okay, that already sorted. It's a non-descending order. The array is already sorted in non-descending order. Find two numbers such that they add up to a specific target number. Let these two numbers be numbers index 1, numbers index 2. One is less than index 1, index 1 is less than index 2, and our this index 2 is less than or equal to numbers dot length. Okay, so it will basically saying that you have to assume two numbers. Okay, numbers of index 1 and index 2. Index 1 is greater than or equal to in the 1, and index 2 is less than or equal to numbers dot length, and index 1 is less than index 2. Okay, so you have to return indexes of the two numbers added by 1 as an integer array. So it's basically saying that they given you a target array. I'll simply explain it. If the target is 11, okay, on first index value is 3, okay, and after that like second index value is 8. So sum of 3 and 8 becomes 11. So you have to return that two like what two elements indexes. Okay, like 3 is on zero index, 8 on first index, so you have to return 0 and 1. Okay, so we'll just see this example. Okay, numbers first example. 2 and 7 and target is 9, so you have to return 1 and 2. Sorry, it's one index array, so you're starting from the first index. Okay, I hope you got clear about the today's questions, and if you find any doubts just ask me in comments. Okay, you have to try this question by yourself. Okay, and okay, you have to try this question by yourself. After completing this question, you can post it on LinkedIn and Twitter. Okay, mention me, and we'll see the conditions for this question. There are a lot of conditions given. The numbers dot length is between 2 to 3 into 10 to the power 4. Okay, and the numbers of I values between minus 1000 to plus 1000. Okay, the numbers is sorted in non-descending order, non-decreasing order. Like the numbers arrays value is already sorted. This will benefit for you. Okay, the tests are generated such that there is exactly one solution. Okay, they given to you the test cases are generated as such as there is only exactly one solution, so it does not have to worry about it. You worry about that how your conditions look like and works in each and every test cases should be perfect work. Okay, so this is the today's question. You can see here. Okay, this example 3. Here the target is minus 1 and air is minus 1 and 0. So you have to return that both. Okay, minus 1 plus 0 it becomes minus 1, so you have to include that 0, so our index becomes 1 and 2. Okay, and here in this array you also know that they isn't 2 and 4 to become target 6. Okay, it does not say that the both indexes are passed by. Okay, one is 0 to another is 1. Okay, that does not given you. You can do it anywhere. Okay, like one is first index, one is less, but the index of one, like index 1, okay, is less than index 2. Okay, so this is the tomorrow's question. If you don't solve it, don't worry, we're gonna solve this question tomorrow. And if you're not started yet DSA with the series, link in button, start from the day one where I'll explain each and everything about the series. Okay, to master DSA, so you can check out that video. And one thing, you have to stay consistent to master DSA. Okay, try to do questions by yourself. Okay, think about multiple approaches, try to code that approaches, find each and every code's time and space complexity. So this will things improve your like lead code, question solving and problem solving. Okay, thanks for watching the video. Meet on the tomorrow video. And for code solutions, you can check out our GitHub repo.